With the bandits, the madman, here we are. Welcome to the Manors, folks. We start early in this game. With a song too there to get us going for the day. Quick fire episode here from the Bandit. As you can see, £459.28 of the bookies bones on already for Cheltenham 2026. This is the boring part, the key races, getting those horses you like mixed into lots of multiples together. So I'm going to give you 5 quick horses. First one is you can do a Canadian, but I'm going to give you a saver bet because obviously with the spread betting kings, you've always got to have a couple in every race. The Supreme, this Bambino Fever, get on it. I listened to the Irish last year, I was on it. Smoking Steve's dad liked it. Something the big bandit has said, that Mullins, he had one of his doubters on it, didn't he? As my dad says, his doubters. Give her a winner, you know. I'm still of the opinion, you know, when it comes to, you know, you can play tennis, football, and I'm sure I might get in for a bit of stick with this, but there's a different physicality. So I think the fact that she's been able to win on the horse speaks volumes. So Supreme, Bambino Fever. My side bet at the minute for the Supreme would be this Win Beneath My Wings. Absolutely romped home in a bumper last year. Didn't make the festival. Get on it. Now, second race, what is now the Turners. Watching that bumper back, I think this Heads Up, which isn't trained by one of the big trainers, let me find out who trains it. This Heads Up came second to Bambino Fever, and I think that speaks volumes. It didn't have the same turn of foot as Bambino Fever, so I think that could probably step up in trip to that what's the new Turners Novices. And at the minute you can get 33s, 25s on it. So yeah, it's trained by John McDonnell. But if that was, there's horses in front of it in the betting, what came 9th in the bumper. Work that one out. So if that was trained by a Bromhead or Mullins and Elliott, it wouldn't be 25s, 33s to 1. So the big value at the minute from the Bandit, get on it, Turners Novices, Heads Up. But another horse staying on in that race was this He Can't Dance. So as you know, when you're mixing your bets in, spread betting, get on this He Can't Dance as well for the Turners. Now, looking back at previous years, horses that do well in the Albert Bartlett obviously tend to go to the Browns. Now, if you look this year, and I'm sure with how that Browns turned out, the Jukebox Man with the form it was in, if it wouldn't have got injured, it probably would have won it. The Jukebox Man came second in last year's Browns. So my main horse for the Browns at the minute is this Big Westerner. This mare is a big mare, absolutely dwarfs Jasmine DeVoe, and I think she'll overturn the form over fences. However, as Mr. C should know, don't back against her. Jasmine didn't back an horse of his own child's named him Mr. C, you know. That tells you enough you need to know about Mr. C, I think. What a guy. But yeah, Jasmine DeVoe is the other horse for the Browns at the minute that I'll be mixing in. But yeah, the big on will be the Big Westerner. Now we get on to the stayers. I can see this ballot. I really can't exaggerate enough how much of a class horse Ballyburn is. I watched it when I was in Ireland over at Punchestown. Head carriage down over hurdles, absolutely wiped the floor of them, and I knew it would win at the festival, and it won at the festival. Now this year, obviously, they've got over the large obstacles. The head carriage doesn't help. I think it will go back to hurdles. That stayers division, the fact that Ballyburn would have won the Supreme 2 years ago, but they decided to go to the further distance, what was the Gallagher, and this year they went for the further distance. I think this Ballyburn will stay the stayers hurdle distance. That stayers division's wide open. Teapot's been beaten by Bob Hollinger. I think Ballyburn at the minute, the price you can get 10 to 1. Absolutely get on it. Still have Teapot as a side bet though in case the Ballyburn plan don't happen. Teapot still will be my side bet for that race. So you've got 8 there, 4 races. The 5th would be Gold Cup. I just can't see past this Factor File. I think it's an improving horse. It'll learn to settle better this year. I'm on Factor File Gold Cup. My saver bet will be in between Galloping and I Know the Way You're Thinking again. But yeah, my main horse there is Factor File. A couple of others them are the 5. I'm going to do a Canadian. I just don't know which saver horse I'll put in the other Canadian. Whether it be Galloping and I Know the Way You're Thinking. I think I might have to do a bit of both because I think if the ground changes, Galloping gets its ground, it's still a class horse. But Yeah, the other two, obviously, so Gino, which we need to see it come back out after the injury for Champion Chase, and Connell, I'm getting in as many bets as I can before entry at the minute, before today actually, for the Champ Hurdle. Good price, 3-1, 4-1. But yeah, just to summarise, the main 5 in those races: Supreme, Bambino Fever, Turner's Novices, Heads Up, Browns, the Big Westerner, Stayers, Ballyburn, Gold Cup, Factor File, and then your other horse that you're mixing in every so often. But I am going to do a straight Canadian with these 5 as well. But I'll be mixing them. I might have Heads Up in a double with Teapot, the main horse and the second horse. These are the horses I'll be mixing and matching. But the other 5 will be Wind Beneath My Wings for the Supreme, He Can't Dance for the Turners, Jasmine for the Browns, Mr. C, get on Jasmine! Stayers will be the Teapot, and the Gold Cup, my gut's telling me Galloping, but I'm going to have to put a bit of an on the way you're thinking again. I'm not being caught with that again. So, as you know, always... I tell you what, we've got a friend of the show, actually. We've got a bloody... Not a trainee bandit anymore. He's over took Mr. C. He's seen Mr. C sort of in the middle lane of the motorway, and he's gone down the fast lane. He's Alty boy. Get on us, Alty. Get a comment in so we know who you are. We might get you on the show this year. As always, bet response with the bookies money. Get out of the Cheltenham Bandit.